We're going to kick things off today with none other than Adrian Danila.
For all of us that have been in a field that turn the wrench, we know that a 50-minute job could turn easily into a 2-3 hour job. The reality is they don't realize, maybe once saying that the competitor down the street has the same struggle. So when you try to match or pay a little bit better than your competitor down the street, you're basically replicating a failing model because they have the same issue, they haven't resolved that issue. Telling an employee that starts today at a very ground level, for example, you could become a service technician, a service manager, a regional maintenance director, a VP of facilities and maintenance. You could become the CEO of the company. It makes them actually consider this as a career, not just as a job.
I'm super excited for what we got up here today. We're going to kick things off today with none other than Adrian Danila, host of Multifamily Chronicles, the Multifamily Hangout, and the Multifamily X podcast. Adrian is former multifamily executive and maintenance management expert who started as a part-time groundskeeper in 2003 and quickly rose to oversee maintenance for portfolios of up to 32,000 apartments. He worked with big names like Greystar, Balfour, Petty Communities, PMG, and Cortland. And in 2023, he founded Multifamily X Consulting Group. Today, Adrian will be talking about decoding the maintenance enigma, overcoming labor shortages, and building the future. So in this session, he's going to tackle one of the biggest challenges we face in the industry, maintenance team turnover and burnout. I don't think anybody's ever had that, have they? So I am super excited to hear him because he's going to dive into the real frustrations of your maintenance teams, give you practical strategies to attract and retain top talent. No more pizza parties because we're fixed. So please join me in welcoming to the stage, Adrian Danila.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction. So, I'm so excited to be here this morning with you all. How many of you do single family only by the show of hands? How many of you do multifamily only? And how many of you do both single family? So most of you do a combination of okay. Just trying to establish my audience right here. So staff shortages, I think everybody's hurting. Everybody's wondering how can we do things better for our companies, for the industry, how can we improve? My presentation today is going to try to bring some light into certain angles of this huge challenge, huge undertaking that we have, and hopefully provide some solutions for you. So, pizza parties, how many of you love pizza parties? The most hated thing, right? When we try to reward our employees for a job well done, the most common reward is pizza parties. What can we do to do things differently? Maintenance turnover. There's some stats right here. Unfortunately, the internet's not being so generous with me. When I did my research, so the numbers are a few years old. But there's still relevant numbers right there showing some numbers, not for multifamily or single family, but just in general. So this is something that is very relevant to the workforce. And I still believe today probably, those numbers are even higher, like the turnover numbers that we're looking at it. Look at the resignation rate for workers by grade, right? So our chances of retaining work employees increases after the first year tremendously. So how do we figure things out so we can keep them for the first year so that our chance increases to retain them long run. More stats out there. There's nothing specific for maintenance, but I think we're really close to hospitality, really. Turnover rates, to my knowledge, right side level for multifamily they're somewhere between 60 and 70% a year. Does that sound familiar? How many of you have that experience by the show of hands? Is this like an accurate number? Is yours lower than that by the show of hands? Lower? That's right. Is yours higher than 60-70%? Nobody. Okay, great. It's fantastic. Being on call, it's the number one complaint that we're getting from on-site maintenance professionals. What can we do about it? Obviously emergencies are emergencies, they gotta be attended to. But also, we could do something useful like minimize the number of calls after our calls. One of them is building a meaningful system where only 2 emergencies are being handled after hours. I know that we have attendants who want to service the residents, want to please the residents, but at the end of the day, we also have to look out for our teammates. And it's very important that we just cannot protect them. It's very tough after 8-9 hour shift to go home and on the way home to be called out again for something that's not like a dire emergency, something that you wait until the next day. Staggered shifts is something that I've experienced in the past. In other words, if you have your designated on-call technician working regular shift and covering after hours, you should consider having them start later so they can work later. Most of the emergencies are being recorded after like 5-6 p.m. when your residents are returning from work. Contracting out some of the emergencies, it's also a very good alternative. I know that everybody's probably thinking cost, right? But there's also a lot of cost involved with maintenance turnover too. So you just kind of have to balance and meet your balance like that. Multifamily, historically, has not been paying competitive wages. From all the research that I've done, we're about 25% less than our competing industries, like construction work. And nowadays, it's even the entire world is not even, you could go to a fast food restaurant, right? And they might pay the same or maybe more than what your entry-level maintenance position pays. So it makes you wonder, how can we really keep attracting new talent if they could actually simply say, I'm gonna go down the street, work my 8-hour shift at a fast food restaurant, and then just go home. There's no emergency involved, no after-hour calls, no backdays. Defining competitive pay has been a challenge, and the conversation I get most of the times with managers that get, the struggle finding qualified personnel is that they're thinking that they're paying competitive wages. So my follow-up question is always, how do you define competitive wages? And they're referring to their competitor down the street. The reality is they don't realize, maybe one saying that the competitor down the street has the same struggle. So when you try to match or pay a little bit better than your competitor down the street, you're basically replicating a failure model because they have the same issue, they haven't resolved that issue. We are competing in today's environment with everybody in a geographical, probably 25 to 50 mile radius area, and with everybody else that has positions that are work from home positions. You could be competing right now with a company from Europe that's hiring people that could work from home and pay similar wages with what you would pay, a maintenance professional. Also, the gig economy is real. I travel a lot throughout the country, and then I haven't found a single Uber or Lyft driver to tell me that I hate my job, I can't wait to get back to a full-time job. It's a real phenomenon, and I think it's growing. Within the next 5 to 10 years, we will see growing numbers in people that actually choose the gig economy for the flexibility, for the fact that they can turn the switch on and off when they decide to work everything. And that's a real challenge for our industry too, right? How do we compete with that? I did a wage comparison for a labor market, and you can look over there, like how much does multifamily pay versus how much a plumber can make, an electrician, and you can see the whole differences out there, right? This has always been the case in my 20-year maintenance career, multifamily. It becomes more obvious today because people have access to this information. It's not a secret. I just told us about India, everybody can do this. It's just that the workforce becomes more aware. So knowing that people are aware, we have to it's extremely hard to compete with those type of wages, right? When you lose talent, it's very important to learn where are they going when they're leaving their company. Most people have been told, don't burn your bridges. Don't say you were unhappy with management, with your manager, the wages are not good, the work environment is stressful. Just say that you found a better opportunity. If you're able to establish that type of rapport with your employee that goes out the door and get a real reason why they're leaving, you can actually address that problem. Single family, to my knowledge, has been recruiting a lot of talent for multifamily lately. So these industries are so close to each other, probably very few differences that I'm seeing, like windshield time, travel time, and those challenges are coming with it. Other experience, you do regards to the same own apartment building versus a single family home. That is the same plumbing, the same electric, or the same AC. The importance of a good work environment. When you treat your maintenance team as equals, and with respect, you gotta have a longer than your service team. Get to know them the way you are, behind the work. Be careful when you ask questions, like, one of the common questions that I think gets many maintenance professionals said is, how much did you do today? What did you do today? When you think about that, for someone that has 15, 20 years experience, not that you don't want to hold your employees accountable, but for someone that actually works really hard, you question typically by a person that not necessarily had that background, it could be very tough, right? Because for all of us that have been in a field and turned a wrench, we know that a 50-minute job could turn easily into a 2-3-hour job. You never know. Your leasing stats, we were talking about multifamily, right, will also help when you're short staffed, when you have a high influx of service requests. They can step in and help with the typical duty, like putting out notices to residents. We support it, right? You're short staffed, your workers are gonna work harder, longer hours, they're gonna have a higher workload. Try to understand and try to provide that type of support. If you have to find a contractor to help with that workload, probably that is the right decision to be made, budgets or not. Because if we're going to end up putting more and more on our maintenance staff, then obviously it's that breaking point that comes in, especially during the hot season, and you guys get walking out the door because it's unreasonable. So there's a lot of people during the summertime because of that. Statistics are showing that engagement levels are only 33% of US workers compared to 36% in just 2020. So it appears like those numbers are going down, the engagement numbers. 46% of employees actively looking for a job are saying that they would prefer working for a company with an established and thriving culture. And that 57% of American employees are reportedly burned out from their jobs, just what I was saying earlier. Engagement strategies. only 25% of the employers in the United States have engagement strategies for employees. This is a huge opportunity, right? Only 1 out of 4 companies have a good or active engagement strategy to keep employees engaged. 75% of employees who voluntarily quit their jobs do so because of their bad bosses. I think we all know here that that saying that people don't leave companies, they leave bad bosses. How true that sounds. It is true. The lack of career path. One of the most common complaints that I'm getting from individuals, from professionals leading our industry is that they don't see a future. How am I going to see myself doing the same thing 5 or 10 years from now? What is for me to look forward to? So having a clear defined career path, telling an employee that starts today at a very ground level, ground school, for example, you could become a service technician, a service manager, a regional maintenance director, a VP of facilities and maintenance. You could become the CEO of the company. It makes them actually consider this as a career, not just as a job. I know several CEOs of large management companies, multifamily, that have started as leasing agents or groundskeepers. My background is I started as a part-time groundskeeper, worked my way up to vice president of facilities. The opportunities are out there. What I'm learning is that our industry in general does not do an amazing job at marketing and advertising those opportunities, like communicating with employees and potential employees that there's real opportunities. There's real career opportunities to make a very good living and a great career. As far as internal staff, the ratio between regional property managers and maintenance support personnel at the regional level. This is a ratio that I personally came up with. It's up for debate for sure. But for me, the ideal ratio between regional maintenance support and support in general, like from leasing, sales, and management side should be 1-on-1. So for each regional person that supports like sales, marketing, and so on and so forth, you should have 1 person that supports maintenance. That should be a very balanced approach. And again, training. Training is also a huge opportunity for us to do better as an industry. Most companies that I work for, and almost all of them are institutional companies, tens of thousands of apartment homes under management, sometimes hundreds of thousands. They build a training curriculum for every single maintenance employee without actually thinking, where does this person need to improve? Or what is their passion? Do they want to become the best HVAC technician out there? Or the best technician that solves plumbing problems? Instead, they're choosing a very easy, very convenient route like using a curriculum, and they're applying that to all employees. I've actually talked to leaders and executives with different companies. They have tried a personalized approach, and they're telling me that long run, that's a way better approach than just a blanket training approach. The way I see this training working, you're going to have a core of classes that are mandatory, legal, right? Preventing sexual harassment, fair housing, so on and so forth. That's going to be your core. You can't really deviate from that. You have that core of 4 or 5 classes, and then the next layer is going to be classes that are decided by the direct supervisor. So if you're a service manager or someone that has a direct report, you know what their strengths and weaknesses are. So you could create a number of classes for them to take to improve certain areas. And then the third layer is going to be classes that an employee should be able to choose themselves based upon, as I said earlier, what would you like to do better? What would you like to know more of? It's very doable, it's very possible, and there are learning management systems out there that have probably hundreds of thousands of hours of content. It's so very easy, and most companies are actually buying that content in bulk. It's very easy to create a curriculum of like 100 classes for your employees to choose from. Encouraging your team members to pursue industry recognized certifications is also another great way to show them appreciation and also to make them want to stick around and see this as a career, not just a job. Toxic work environments, huge problem, right? As I was saying earlier, we believe that bosses, not companies. Learn the causes of your employee turnover, why you have turnover. Don't settle for, I found a better opportunity. There's always way more to that story than just, I found a better opportunity. A great way to learn more about how your employees feel about working for your company is to do stay interviews. Instead of waiting until someone gives notice, which we all know, it's too late to save them for the most part, right? Every 3 or 6 months, do stay interviews, get a poll, find out what you like about working for your company, find out what opportunities for improvement are out there in the work environment. I know companies that do this. This way, you gotta have teams and employees that are coming to work because they wanted to come to work, not because they have. Finding talent. How and where do we find talent? Basically, a crisis here. The pool of talent shrinks every day. We have so many employees that are retiring. The legacy knowledge for the industry is leaving us. What do we do? What do we do to maintain some and build new knowledge? So a lot of people are retiring, and also a lot of professionals are going to other industries or go self-employed. Try apprenticeship programs. And also a few categories that we as an industry typically have not done the best job at appealing. For example, women in the workforce in maintenance. I haven't seen so many, but I work with very few that work excellent maintenance workers. Try to that segment of the population. It's, I promise you won't be disappointed. Again, I work with some excellent female co-workers, maintenance professionals. Also military personnel. A lot of military personnel has some sort of training that's being provided by the military branches during the service. It's an easier transition than to start someone from zero. And allegedly they have the discipline too, right? You've been in the service, you have to be a disciplined person. I found that they could be easier to train than just someone that hasn't been in the service. And also high school students. Not everybody's got to go to college, but also don't be too late in the process. Go and speak to high schools from 9th and 10th grade. Don't wait until they're about to graduate. It's probably they already made up their mind. It's going to be very hard. The competition is going to be tough for you. You're going to be competing against other things. Probably you don't even have a chance. They're 12th grade already. Probably have an idea what they want to do. Always recruit for every position in your organization. This is paramount. Consider this. Recruiting should not be an event. Someone is leaving or get notice, we have to buy. It's an ongoing process. It should be an ongoing process. I want you to think professional sport teams like it, right? So let's just say that your favorite football team is Denver Broncos. You live in Denver area, right? And you open your Indian app on your phone, looking for an opportunity, or like you just basically scrolling through. And here's an ad on Indeed saying that Denver Broncos are looking for a quarterback. They're actually hiring a quarterback. Is that a realistic thing? Like, would you ever open a job board and see positions advertised for a sports team. That never happens. And the reason why, because each sport team is building a bench. They always have the second team, the third team, the fourth team. Yeah, there's an argument that, well, we don't have the resources to compete with it, right? We don't. Or we could actually take that as a goal and actually do the best we can to recruit talent when we don't have openings, so that when those openings are coming available, there's a bench of talent that we should be reaching out and saying, there's an opportunity right now in our organization. Would you like to have a conversation? Would you like to talk to us about opportunities? Networking with other maintenance professionals is extremely important. There's places where you can network, not just like in person, but also virtual places. There are several maintenance-related groups on Facebook that they have tens of thousands of members. I encourage you to sign up for those groups to become a member. They could be a very, very good resource for you to recruit maintenance professionals. Keep in touch with your fellow maintenance professionals. You never know when something happens in their life, in their career, they're ready to make a move. If you're the person that they're closest to, chances are you're going to be the first person to find out when they're looking for a new opportunity. And this gives you a chance ahead of everybody else. You're not going to be competing with all the other employees in the area over that employee. This could be like a one-time conversation, setting them up and getting them really with your company. Hiring people that are high profile in the industry has some advantages. They're very well known. People love to work with people that they admire, and they will attract positive attention to your company. So look for influencers in your market. Have conversations with them and try to sign them up for your company. They will bring other great employees with them. It's very important to understand where your candidate is living. For example, if you're looking for a entry-level employee, groundskeeper or punch technician, probably you don't want to advertise on LinkedIn. Most of those individuals looking for jobs are actually having those type of jobs. They don't have LinkedIn accounts, right? Probably Facebook is a better option than LinkedIn. The red web is coming back. I have a few friends who work for the red web companies. They could actually target certain demographics for you, based on age, based on your current job. So something to look into. It is probably the most popular job platform today. I want you to know that not all the ads are created equal, right? If you have a place like a basic ad for $200, it's not going to get you much coverage. The way the platform works is kind of like pay for play. So if you sponsor an ad in order to stay on that first page of search results when your candidates are looking for work, you might say, well, we can afford $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 to do that for a week. But then think about this, let's just say that there's more than one opportunity in a certain geographical area that you have, more than one opening. You could do like a single ad for that particular area, and then split the cost amongst the properties that actually have your openings, and then kind of split the candidates when they're coming in. Remember that the jobs that you're advertising are actually products that you're selling. The product that you're selling is the job. Think like a salesperson. The most common complaint I'm hearing from hiring managers that we're paying this competitive wages, but people just don't want to work. This is like me saying I created this amazing product. I'm trying to sell it on Amazon, but nobody's buying it. So it must be the buyer's fault that my product is not selling. I have a great product. It never is the client, the potential client. You have to really reconsider, like, redoing your ad, rethinking your strategy when it comes to job description. What is the job description itself, the way you advertise, the pay, whatever it is. If you're not getting traction, I promise you, it's not the candidate's fault. that you're not getting that traction. You have to go back to the drawing board and just think about what can you do to improve your job ads to get more applicants. Use a little humor when you place in your ads. They don't have to follow a certain pattern. Most ads that I'm seeing on platforms like LinkedIn are pretty cookie cutter. And they tend to just sound like when you scroll to a feed, they tend to all look the same because they kind of follow the same templates, the same patterns. It's not probably the best way to advertise for jobs because you get those in a feed. Make application process very frictionless, very easy for people to apply. I think that if one thing to apply, it's an amazing thing that happened for candidates. When you think about a candidate experience is that they're looking for an opportunity. Let's say that they're a maintenance technician right here, and they're typing out on Indeed, maintenance technician, the location they want to be working in. They get like 20 to 50 results, let's just say. Let's just assume. For a one-time click, they could apply to 20 to 50 jobs within 5-minute period or less. Imagine how powerful that is. Their resume goes to like 7 employees in a matter of minutes. Now, as an employer, that's a real challenge for you because you're competing with like 20, 30, 40 other employees that are hiring. So what do? You have competition. You have to act very quickly and you have to make this process very seamless. Ideally, you should be responding within the first hour after a candidate that submitted their resume. I think, in my personal opinion, that a resume life shelf is probably like 6 to 12 hours. After the first 12 hours, you don't really have a great chance of ever seeing that person. There's exceptions to it, of course, but I'm seeing like very competitive larger markets where if you're not calling, if you're not acting, and trying to get a person to interview with you, even a phone call, the next day, the second week, forget about it. You're never gonna hear from them again. Try to be one of the first 3 employers that are contacting that person. You do that by acting very quickly. And try to set up the in-person interview for as soon as possible. I had situations where I had candidates that I was really looking forward to hiring. I wanted to hire them. I had to travel where they used to work because they were full-time employees. And they were working about like 45 minutes from where my office was. So it wasn't realistic for me to tell them, hey, you gotta find time to come see me, drive an hour and a half back and forth, because most people don't have that time. They only have like 60 minutes break during the day. So I had to go travel close to where they were. I took them to lunch, I had an interview, and I was able to make a contingent offer on the spot, the same day. Have as few interviews as possible. I've learned throughout the years that just increasing the number of interviews does not increase the quality of the employees that you attract. On the contrary, if you have a very long, tedious process with 3, 5, 7 people interviewing the same person, you're gonna be losing them against your competition that actually has a system to where they're able to like interview them and maybe on the first interview be able to make a contingent offer. If you had a candidate that you like and made an offer, make sure that you follow up on them. If they're in a position where they have to give a 2 weeks notice, understand that they're probably applying for 20 other jobs and they're interviewing with many other companies. Just because they've accepted an offer doesn't mean that they're gonna come work for you. Make sure that every day, every other day you stay in touch with them and you make sure that you do that with work so you're not losing them to your competition. Let's start here. It's a number of surveys that I've done on LinkedIn, and I'm just gonna scroll through and kind of show you what the responses are out there. How do you describe your workplace culture? 40% of the responders said supportive. So more than half of the responders didn't find their workplace culture being supportive. Huge opportunity for improvement. I had close to 300 people trying for the program. How would you describe your company efforts in reducing maintenance personnel turnover at your properties? Above and beyond, 21%, that's 1 out of 5. Huge opportunities out there, again. Apart from compensation and benefits, what primary factors in the multifamily industry? 55% answer manageable workloads. What I was covering earlier, when you show stuff, think about your maintenance personnel, what they're going through, and the more you add to the workload, the more you add to the stress levels, that increase the chance of losing employees away. Do you believe the official representation of your company culture on your company website aligns with actual employee experiences? Only 1 out of 3 people responded yes. And I'm going to give you some insight right here, because when you do polls on LinkedIn, you will see who votes, the individuals that actually vote, how they're voting. Out of that 33%, probably the overwhelming majority of them were executives working for certain companies. So a single company is not going to say that their perceived culture is not the same as the culture that is on the website. So huge opportunities of improvement out there too. How do you describe your company efforts in reducing maintenance personnel turnover at your properties? Above and beyond, only 1 out of 5. How can the multifamily industry enhance and expedite the hiring process for maintenance personnel? Reduce the number of touching points. Just what I was touching on earlier, more than 50% of people respond that way. Make it a frictionless process, as few interviews as possible. On average, how much time does it typically take for you to fill a vacant maintenance position at property level? 1 week or less, only 2%. I personally believe that opening at a site level will be filled within a week if you really have a very high game when it comes to recruiting a very aggressive game. Only 2% of all responders who currently have that. I want to thank you all for being here this morning. There's some contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me directly if we're not connected on LinkedIn. Please do connect with me. It's Adrian in the official seat. Last Danila, cell phone number is in there. I use there. Always more conversations. I hope you found this useful for you this morning. If you want a copy of the presentation, I'm always sending it to you for free. Just shoot me a message on LinkedIn or call me or shoot me an email, and I'll make sure that's available to you. Thank you all very much.